There's a curious little scene that repeats itself in millions of American homes every morning. A cup of coffee, the cold light of an LED strip illuminating a tired face, and that same look, a blend of hope and despair, in the eyes of someone who believes that, with the right video, the algorithm will finally bless them. The golden age of content no longer has gold, but it still glitters in time with the artificial glow of screens. In 2026, being a YouTuber in the United States is the modern equivalent of being a gladiator in a digital coliseum. Except instead of blood, they offer relevance. And instead of lions, there are anonymous commenters hungry for weakness. The show is free, and the audience is never satisfied. The only difference is that this time, the gladiator builds his own arena, pays for the lighting, and smiles while destroying himself in front of millions. It's ironic, in a way, how it all began with something almost innocent. The promise of creative freedom, of authenticity, of having a voice the world would finally hear. But what the world actually heard was the metallic sound of coins falling. Because the truth is, authenticity only sells as long as it pays. The content creator, what a delicate name for a modern servant, has become a prisoner of an algorithm whose mood changes faster than any ancient deity. He prays, begs, sacrifices sleep and sanity to please an invisible god who, with a single click, decides whether he is relevant or forgotten. The altar is the feed, and the faithful are fickle. In the mansions of Los Angeles, entire rooms have been transformed into temples for the camera. Lights that never go out, ring lights glowing like profane halos, and 20-year-olds aging before 30 trying to look eternally enchanted by their own lives. Every laugh is rehearsed, every tear edited, every pause carefully engineered to appear spontaneous. The performance is total. There's no longer a line between living and acting, between being and appearing. The YouTuber doesn't work in front of the camera. He lives inside it, breathing only when the script allows. There is something perversely beautiful about this tragedy. The desperate search for connection that only creates isolation. Millions watch, applaud, comment, yet no one truly listens. The YouTuber speaks to the world, but the echo he receives is only the amplified sound of his own vanity. He stares at the screen and mistakes the image for his soul. With each new video, he dies a little, then immediately resurrects in another thumbnail, with a new title, a new trick, another mask of enthusiasm. The cycle is perfect, like a factory of illusions. The audience, of course, pretends not to notice. It's more comfortable to believe the laughter is genuine, that the routine is real, that such a life, so carefully choreographed, could actually be attainable. And so everyone participates in the farce with devotion. Some lie by creating, others lie by watching. The spectacle has no villains, only accomplices. Each view is a small act of faith in the collective lie that sustains the modern internet. Some call it culture. The more cynical prefer to call it commerce. Being a YouTuber in 2026 means living inside a mirror that only reflects what sells. It's a profession where the soul is the product and exposure is the currency. Each like brings a small relief. Each drop in metrics, a small death. The despair never appears on camera. It hides in the sleepless nights, the silent breakdowns before a blank screen. Because it's not enough to create, one must survive their own success. Digital fame doesn't free. It imprisons with invisible chains made of comments, analytics, and comparison. And when recognition finally arrives, it comes with something even crueler: the obligation to remain interesting. The public loves its idols, but cannot bear to see them human. One mistake, one tired expression, one sentence spoken off key, and love turns to disdain. The creator then puts the mask back on, fixes the smile, and records another video about authenticity. The show must go on, even if the artist no longer remembers who he is when the lights go out. There's an almost divine irony in it all. The more someone tries to be seen, the more invisible they become. The YouTuber is omnipresent, yet non-existent. He lives on screens, in ads, in reels, and shorts, but outside them, he's an echo. The persona adored by millions is only a shadow, and the shadow is all that remains. The real self, the one that once dreamed, feared, thought, is left behind, archived like an obsolete file. Because the algorithm doesn't reward truth, it rewards the performance of truth. Somewhere between the forced smiles and rapid cuts, there's a brief moment of lucidity. A fleeting instant when the creator looks into the camera and realizes it isn't recording him. It's consuming him. The lens doesn't capture reality. It devours it, turning every gesture into spectacle, every flaw into content. And the audience watches, fascinated, unaware that what they're really seeing is their own hunger. Hunger for distraction, for dopamine, for anything that helps them forget they too are prisoners of the same screen. Digital gurus promise freedom, wealth, and purpose. But what they really sell is servitude lit by LED. The words have changed, the system hasn't. The dream job is nothing more than feudalism dressed in entrepreneurship. The new lord is the algorithm, the servant, the creator. The whip now has a name, engagement, and it stings most when it disappears. Success, so loudly celebrated, is only a delayed sentence, because those who rise too quickly fall in silence. There's a certain kind of loneliness that exists only among the famous, a golden solitude wrapped in applause, where no one can enter because everything inside is staged. YouTubers are surrounded by people who admire them, but rarely by anyone who knows them. Love is quantified, worth measured in views. And when the numbers start to fall, desperation sounds like a notification that never arrives. So they record another video, and another, until even their exhaustion becomes content. The audience watches the downfall with the same pleasure it once watched the rise. Because failure, like success, also entertains. The creator becomes a tragic character, worthy of empathy only as long as they suffer beautifully. It's the new Roman spectacle. A digital crucifixion, streamed live and monetized. Tears earn clicks, pain earns likes. It's almost poetic, the way humanity turns suffering into entertainment. And yet there's something deeply human about all of it. That almost childlike need to be seen, remembered, to leave a mark before silence swallows us. The YouTuber is just the magnified mirror of that fragility. He simply took to the extreme what everyone wants: recognition, belonging, meaning. The difference is that, in trying to record his life, he lost the ability to live it. In the end, it's not him who owns the channel. The channel owns him. Perhaps the true tragedy of being a YouTuber in 2026 isn't failure, but success. Because success demands maintenance, and maintenance demands submission. The more you give in to the audience, the less of yourself remains. The artist becomes an employee of his own image. Every gesture is calculated, every emotion measured, every silence analyzed. It's a theater without curtains, where the applause never ends, and therefore never frees. Behind this luminous glory, there's a silence that screams. The laughter from the recordings echoes hollow once the cameras stop. And in that silence lives the cruelest realization. Without the gaze of the audience, nothing makes sense. The YouTuber doesn't exist without spectators, and that dependence is the sweetest poison of all. He loves the audience that destroys him, and the audience loves destroying him in the name of authenticity. It's a perfect dance of vanity and guilt, of adoration and contempt. Perhaps that's the true price of modernity, trading anonymity for exhaustion. Once, merely existing was enough. Now, existence must be justified with content. Life no longer needs to be lived. It must be displayed, edited, shared. And the more we share, the less we own. What remains of the human when everything intimate becomes public? Perhaps only the shadow cast upon a screen, beautiful enough to sell ads, tragic enough to be remembered. And when it's all over, when the lights go out and the algorithm finds a new idol to worship, what remains? A forgotten archive, an abandoned channel, a voice lost in the sea of data. The same audience that once cheered moves on to the next face, the next smile, the next scandal. And the creator, once adored, becomes just a footnote in the history of human distraction. Like a star that still shines in the sky, long after its light has died. The irony, of course, is that it's always been this way. From court poets to television clowns, there have always been those willing to trade dignity for attention. The difference is that now everyone can do it. Fame has become democratic, and shame universal. Everyone wants to be seen, but no one wants to see. Everyone talks, but few listen. In the end, YouTube is merely the mirror of a world where everyone believes themselves the protagonist of a story no one else is watching. Being a YouTuber in America in 2026 is to participate in the greatest psychological experiment in history. A mix of collective narcissism and scheduled despair. It's living with the constant feeling that something must always be said, shown, proven. It's waking up every day trying to convince the world you're fine, while slowly drowning in irrelevance. The algorithm watches, indifferent, handing out blessings to those who sell themselves best, and punishment to those who stop. The goddess of attention is capricious and her altar, insatiable. In the end, it is a pity to be a YouTuber. But perhaps an even greater pity to realize that in some way, we all have become one. We live in pursuit of invisible likes, trying to seem happy, intelligent, relevant. We record our own lives, even if only in our minds, waiting for approval that never comes. The YouTuber is merely the caricature of an entire era, a humanity that traded the silence of the soul for the noise of notifications. And the most tragic, or perhaps the most amusing part is that, even knowing this, we still smile for the camera.